What is up, everybody? It is your boy Farai. Thank you once again for tuning in to another video. Definitely make sure to smash that like button. Let's hop straight into the video because I have something amazing for you. In today's video, we are actually going to be focusing on breaking down one of my own tracks. You can check out this preset as well. It is so in depth, but it is really inspired by the Midwest emo wave, right? The more indie rock wave. The more music I listen to, like Lil Peep, Drippin' So Pretty, we're getting that wide vocal sound, right? Even inspired by Suicide Boys, right? Pay attention to the track just now and listen, and you'll understand what I'm talking about, right? But this kind of math rock, indie wave has really inspired so many tracks today, and it sounds sonically good. It's timeless in its sound, and I really want to have some fun breaking this down for you. So check it out. Again, if you are a free VST user, maybe you can't get access to some of these paid plugins. The free VST version is absolutely crazy. We'll kind of A/B it just now as well, just so I can show you that free plugins do get the job done. But nonetheless, let's hop straight into it. I'll play the track for you, and as always, we'll break it down.
I don't wanna talk, please don't let me down. Swear I fall apart when you're not around. Suffocating, yeah, I just wanna drown. Intoxicating, but I'll never let you down. Think I'm a vampire, I'm waking in nighttime. Don't wanna meet with you, let's say it's the right time. Talk to me, baby, you know I'm all fucking alright. Stop for the car, because I'll see you in the next life. Your mom says you ain't been home in a minute. Your old friends say you hanging with a new clique. The cool kids doing drugs after school kids. You don't ever call, but we been on some new shit. Times change, okay, gotta move on, it's a new day. Windows down, music loud, run on the highway. Cannot say I've changed, but I'm different. Call broski up for some blunts, yeah, let's twist it. Every time I see you smile, I know that you're not okay. Everything I felt, well, I'ma let it fade away. Every time we talk, it feels like I'm falling. You calling out my name, but I'ma keep walking. I don't wanna talk, please don't let me down. Swear I fall apart when you're not around. Suffocating, yeah, I just wanna drown. Intoxicating, but I'll never let you down. Think I'm a vampire, I'm waking in nighttime. Don't wanna meet with you, let's say it's the right time. Talk to me, baby, you know I'm all fucking alright. Stop on the corner, because I'll see you in the next life.
Well, there you go, right? Sounds absolutely amazing. So, this is what you're going to get in this preset. All of these presets, man, what I've done. And you're also going to get a whole bunch of bonus things. As you can see, we've got 4 beat channels, right? In the free VST version, I have actually set you up with, different buses that you can use for your beat, right? All you got to do is control left click. You get a completely different sound, right? I use mix analog a lot of the time if I don't have certain gear. For those who know mix analog, I did a video on them a while back, but you can run your gear through, your sounds through different gear, right? I think I chose the Neve in the end, right, is the 1084, which is a really renowned piece of gear, $10,000 piece of gear. But free VST version, we emulating that, you know what I mean? So definitely check that out. But let's start breaking it down, man. So when it comes to this kind of wider than life Lil Peep style vocal sound, this Suicide Boys wide vocal sound, this kind of Midwestern vocal sound, what we really want is that kind of hi-fi but still trashy sounding high end, that mid range, it sounds very rooted in punk. It's very beautiful, but it's a bit cleaner, right? And we can hear that by, for example, all the guitarists that do all those 30-second videos, math rock progressions and things like that. It's very hi-fi, but it still kind of has that distortion in it. That's kind of what I want the main vocal to sound like. That's why we kind of have 2 different versions of a main vocal. Bonus time, right? This is what you get. We get a full-scale distorted main vocal, and then we also get a normal, clean-cut, studio quality sounding main vocal, right? Invest in the vocal enhancer if you want that add-on. But again, this is not too, it's not going to be the end of the world if you don't have it, but you have it, you got it, right? So, it's kind of what we have going on, man. We've made use of different outboard gear, right? I mean, look, I went crazy. I even loaded up my DP2, which I haven't used in a long time. But if you just pay attention to what that sounds like, just really cheap kind of 90s sounding flanges and reverbs and things like that,
I don't wanna talk, please don't let me down. Swear I fall apart when you.
You know what I mean? You'll find that in the free VST version, right? We'll leave that out for now. But Beautiful stuff, man. You know, we've really tried to go max all the way to the limit. You know what I mean? Full on master chains as well. You can go and get that in the FreeVS2 version as well. I won't run through that in this video. Maybe I will in the next, and I'll do 2 videos. But you know, it's cool, right?
I don't wanna talk, please don't let me down. Swear I fall apart when you're not around. Suffocating, yeah, I just wanna drown. Intoxicating, but I'll never let you down. Think I'm a vampire, I wake in nighttime.
And you can really hear the way everything is just like perfectly portrayed, right? I'm gonna show you how to do that. So cool, man. You know, when it comes to recording this, for all the guys and girls out there who love just to go crazy, this is going to work perfectly for you. I distorted the heck out of my mic, my preamp, and everything possible to get that kind of raw upfront sound. As you can see, everything's nicely compressed. Again, I've got that sorted out in the FreeVS2 version. But, you know, that's what we want up front. That's what we want to start mixing off of. We want a little bit of that analog distortion, right? If you don't have that, you can get the FET drive, bus color 4, just to clip your vocals. But from that point on is really where we start processing, right? Again, I like to use auto-tune. I've kind of learned to use it to where you don't really hear it, right? So as you can see, I'm on 0, but you don't really hear it being like a T-Pain effect or something.
I don't wanna talk, please don't let me down. Swear I fall apart when you're not around.
It sounds like a vocal take, right? It sounds good. So, you know, auto-tune, whatever, is not too important. Again, you don't need to use it if you're a purist, right? You know, you don't have to use it. You can use it just for pitch correction, just for the kind of, you know, minute changes. You can keep it around 30 or 20. It will give you that sound. But again, how can we not mix a, you know, Midwestern style song without a SSL console? In my opinion, this is just part of that sound. You know what I mean? You definitely want this to be added to your catalog. Someone just asked me, you know, should I get the 4000G from Plugin Alliance or, you know, Waves, whatever. This has a lot more distortion on it. So if you want a clean sounding one, get the native SSL or the Waves one. But if you want one that's going to grunge up and give you that sound, well, then you want this one, okay? And all I'm really doing on this is, since I've distorted the vocal already, I'm really just emphasizing the 6.3, because that's kind of where the, you know, the guitars aren't really existing, but you know, I want that vocal to pop out there. So we kind of find a spot for the vocal to exist, and there you go, it sounds good. Not using any of the filtering because I want that all to be there. I want it to sound as raw as possible, but I am doing this huge kind of cut here. So for some reason, I just had this cut going on, or this kind of lower shelf going on around like 1000, and it just sounds really good, right? So we do that, and it sounds really nice. Not much other EQ, just a little bit of a 1.3 boost, 2.5K, doesn't matter, right? But after that, all these little things add up. They do matter. But, you know, again, then we just start cutting out things we don't like. So as you can see, I was really annoyed because when you're kind of screaming into a microphone, especially you'll see like towards the end, right? You know, right? All those sounds, right? We got that in the FreeVS2 version too, right?
I'm a vampire, I wake in nighttime. Don't wanna meet with you, listen is the right time. Talk to me, baby, you know more.
Right? We need to get rid of that, right? So, you know, this is where your kind of, you know, professionalism kicks in. You just kind of find frequencies you don't like. Again, this is a really good starting point. 7K, I was always taught, you know, if you're mixing screamer vocals, between like that 6 and 9K is always going to be a weird area. And lo and behold, right, there you go. So, you know, we're cutting there, boosting when necessary, and just kind of enhancing that energy, right? Easy. So after that, little bit of compression. Now, because I've kind of clipped these vocals, you can see the threshold is really high up, but it's doing a little bit of compression. And this is just for consistency, because when you're recording these kinds of takes, it's really easy to kind of go overboard. But, you know, you want to make sure that the energy stays. So, right? So it's just adding on a little bit of a glue effect. It's just compressing things where things get out of hand in an opto style, meaning like an LA2A style. I really like this compressor more than using an LA2A on its own at times, mostly, right? Because it doesn't really have that kind of low end thing going on, but it gives you this kind of nice warmness. So, you know, really nice. After that, I am doing a little bit of stereo widening. Now, why would I do that? Well, at times, as you can see, I am panning certain vocals, so you can see right there, just for emphasis, right, in regards to the rest of the song. So listen to the difference between that take and this take. Right, I'm actually mixing together a whispered main vocal and this main vocal, but I want them panned. So So, this just allows me to widen things even more. It also helps me to kind of get more of an effect going on here, in terms of the analog TMT. So that's a little benefit you get. But, let's not make it too crazy. This was actually a mistake, right? I didn't realize that this had internal limiting in it. And that's where I got kind of that added distortion. So if I actually turn this off, let's just solo, yeah.
Don't wanna meet with you, listen, it's the right time. Don't wanna meet with you.
Okay, no, that's actually just analog distortion, but a little bit going on.
Don't wanna meet with you, listen, it's the right time.
You get this kind of nice little distortion. You get it also with the H3000 if you clip into it. The older Eventide devices had this really nice kind of 16-bit distortion. So we get that. I've emulated that with the FreeVST version again right there. Boom, with the, what is this, the Fruity Blood Overdrive. But, just kind of emulated that. Sounds really good when you mix them together.
Think I'm a vampire, I wake in night time. Don't wanna meet with you, listen, it's the right time.
Right, it just kind of adds on to that analog distortion we have. Really cool. And then again, man, just normal stuff. You've seen me do this before. I don't always have to talk about these things, right? A little bit of massaging with the main vocal. It's making sure that mid-range, it's so important with screamo and emo-style vocals, just to make sure that you're not overdoing the mid harmonics, because what tends to happen is when you start playing your tracks on smaller speakers, the mids just, completely clip the speaker. So you want to just massage them in, make sure that distortion exists, but make sure that it's tamed, okay? So, that's kind of what we're doing. A little bit of distortion. Right, just a little bit going on, nothing crazy. But, that mixed together with all of the other things, you know what I mean? Our background vocals now, which I've mixed to be more kind of bitey.
Don't wanna meet with you, let's it is the right time. Talk to me, baby, I'm all fucking alright. Stop, think I'm a vampire.
You know what I mean? Just different, like takes, add those up,
Think I'm a vampire.
You can add them all in,
Think I'm a vampire.
and just go crazy and just have fun, right? So, stuff like that really adds up. We also have this duplicate effect going on right here, which I thought was pretty cool. So you will see this channel on the free one as well. It's really just the toned down version of this channel, right? But obviously just with the most important things. If I was to actually turn off everything, cool, but it's not quite there, right? So there you go. Sounds really nice, right? So, we got that going on. And altogether it sounds really good, right? Right, and when you can kind of do all these different takes, you get really nice kind of, a choir of distortion. It sounds really nice. But yeah, let's kind of move on to the main vocal. Now we talked about the hook and the kind of, most important part of the track. When it comes to, this is kind of what I learned from listening to like CLA's mixes, because Chris Lord Alge was, he's still responsible for mixing some of the kind of more mainstream emo and, Midwest records, from different bands. And, he's always going to mix that main vocal to be really nice and clean, especially when it's more subtle, right? Especially with like emo or like Midwest, it goes up and down in emotion, right? You don't want everything to be distorted. You want moments in the track where it's really quiet, it's really kind of nuanced. And so, these first 4 bars of this verse, you can do that, right?
Your mom says you ain't been home in a minute. Your old friends say you're hanging with a new clique, with the cool kids doing drugs after school kids.
So that whole sound is really just, a clean recording, right? As you can see, I'm sticking to the rules of recording around 0 VU.
Your mom says you ain't been home in a minute.
Right, but I found it kind of boring just on its own, right? So I added on a doubler and then some really nice H3000 addition to that, which was the flanger preset, right?
Your mom says you ain't been home in a minute. Your old friends say you hanging with a new clique. The cool kids doing drugs after school kids. We don't never.
Right, when you add it all together.
Your mom says you ain't been home in a minute.
Right, we kind of get this cool, flangy, spacey kind of vibe, right? Have fun with the style, it's just, the template is so jam-packed, right? But you can see how it transitions, right?
We don't ever call, but we been on some new shit. Times change, okay, gotta move on, it's a new day. Windows down, music loud, ride on the highway. Cannot say I've changed, but I'm different. Call broski up for some blunts, yeah, let's twist it. Every time I see you smile, I know that you're not okay. Everything I felt, well, I'ma let it fade away. Every time we talk, it feels like I'm falling. You calling out my name, but I'ma keep walking. I don't wanna
Right, you can kind of see how we've made use of all the different channels we have to emphasize certain parts of the track, and we emphasize these parts via monoing out the track or widening up the track. Now, all of these channels allow you to do that, right? So certain parts of the track, as you can see, now that we had the kind of subtle, more flangey part of the song, which is more soft and smooth, then we introduce some of the distortion, right, on top of the main vocal.
Okay, gotta move on to new day.
And then we can kind of sing that distorted main vocal. You can kind of more quietly, record this vocal, but then mix together, we get a really nice sound, right? And then we can add in that background left and right, remove the distortion, right? Really get creative with this. And you can just see how different things sound, right?
I'm on the highway, cannot say I've changed, but I'm different. Call broski up for some blunts, yeah, let's twist it.
You know what I mean? And like, I really tried my best to get the same effect I get with the console, but in the box, and I think I nailed it this time. It sounds really good. I'm really happy with the result. But parts like this are just amazing. You add in a little bit of distortion, a bit of delay. You know what I mean? Just the simple 8th note delay, and you're good to go. Oh no, this is actually manual. Yeah, this was an 8th note, but I kind of twisted it a little bit just to fit in more with the track. But you get the idea, man. We can do so much, with this style of mixing, and it sounds really good. So yeah, definitely check it out in the description box. Again, mess around with this FreeBSD version. I'll do one episode a month of Fix Your Mix. We'll take a listen to, your tracks. Definitely going to be looking out for people who've used this template, because there's so much going on. We have the ability for different beats, just like I have done with Mix Analog, right? I had the Neve, I had the tape machine, I think, and then I had some other stuff, the character. But they all have a slightly different sound, just pay attention to this, right? So
I don't wanna talk, please don't let me down. Swear I fall apart when you're not around.
right, this sounds a bit more crushed, the guitar's squashing a little bit, the Neve is a bit more clean and pristine.
I don't wanna talk, please don't let me down. Swear I fall apart.
Right, they all have a very unique sound. I'd probably say the character was the one I didn't like the most.
I don't wanna talk, please don't let me down. Swear I fall apart when you.
Yeah, the kick kind of distorted, but just running your beat through something, for example, like this, my bad, like all of these different presets that I have, or there's a difference in sound quality, right? If we just go for the beat right here, right, you hear that, right? Listen to how that character style saturation distorts. Right, listen how that distorts. But nonetheless, man, you get the idea. Link will be in the description. Definitely make sure to check out the vocal recording course and vocal mixing course for FL Studio if you are a bit unaware or unsure of how to kind of get around using this template, because it can be overwhelming if you're not, well versed with the way that we like to do things. Again, this is the best way to record a mix in FL Studio. You can hear it, right? But yeah, man, I hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great weekend. And, stay well, keep working every day. I'll check you out next time. Peace out.